Right guys, Ian here. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to FDT-TV. We do appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button and let us know what you think in the comments. Once again, YouTube, my name is Ian, and if you haven't been here before, we're here to discuss West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Well, it's an away game, so Crystal Palace versus West Ham. Our record is reasonably good: 23 wins, 22 draws, 16 losses in all competitions against Crystal Palace, and that goes back to 1906. Generally, last few years these games have been draws, a couple of losses and a win. There's always goals. There might not be many, but there is always goals. We're in much better form than we have been recently or in recent years, so we should be doing much better than we have done against Crystal Palace, and hopefully this will be the result that starts to turn around that recent record. Before we get into it, let's look at three young players who made their debut against Doncaster. Afolayan at the top here scored a goal on his debut, looked solid, seemed to have a very good awareness of the game. Nathan Trott, a goalkeeper I've been bleating on about for years, nice to see him make his debut, even if it was only for 10 minutes. And a very young man, Jamil Baptiste, who I think is going to be a future star for us. Brilliant to see them making their debuts. Congratulations, keep up the hard work, and hopefully we'll see you as more regular starters in the first 11. Right, this is where we get serious now, isn't it? We're going to start off by saying up front, Mikel Antonio, there's no way he was on the bench for Doncaster. We didn't need him, but there's no way we drop him for this match. We are a better team with him. He is our main man. He's proven that since coming back on, and scored some fantastic goals so far. Long may that continue. In midfield, this was a difficult one. I will say we've cut off Thomas Souček's head a little bit there. Let's make that right. How do we make that right? We put him there, that's how. Lanzini, Benrahma and Fornals all performed really well against Doncaster. I would have liked to have seen Lanzini and Benrahma maybe use a bit more skill and a bit more trickery to get across the result that they needed, and maybe say end up on the score sheet. The reason that I've brought in Bowen is because, well, one, he's very good going forward, and two, I don't think you should be able to drop him for the league. He had a well-deserved rest. Unless there's a problem, then he starts for me. Lanzini goes to the bench, and so that was a very difficult decision. The one thing that swung it for me is that Fornals scored, and I did like him, and he was. They all were contenders, I think, for man of the match. Certainly Benrahma and Fornals, so they both keep their spots. As always, Thomas Souček, he did start against Doncaster, but he seems to love playing football. It doesn't ever seem to run out of energy, so he starts for me alongside Declan Rice, who got a well-deserved rest. That could be a problem maybe later in the match when, as tight legs start to get a bit more tired. If Souček is, say, playing games in quick succession, then that could become a problem, but that's something we need to look at maybe. In the transfer market, defence, same lineup as always: Cresswell, Ogbonna, Dawson and Soufal. All were fantastic, all got rested against Doncaster, so they've got fresh legs. Dawson has actually really impressed me since coming in. Yes, he's made a few mistakes, he's kicked someone in the head, but he has scored a goal. He's been solid, he's had man in the match performances, and has really blown me away. Has been that player who has made a difference for me, and is able to make our defence better, which is surprising. I'm genuinely surprised, and I have eaten my own hat. In goal, Lucas Fabianski, or Fabianski. I don't know how you pronounce it. I always get it slightly wrong. It's not my fault. Well, it is my fault. But yeah, that's a very strong starting lineup for us against Crystal Palace. Only three players played in the game against Doncaster, so relatively fresh as well. Now on the bench, Premier League, we are allowed 9 substitutions. We can still make, we can only make 3 substitutions, but we are allowed 9 on the bench. So defensively, I've gone with Fredericks, Balwena, Johnson, and Diop. As that sort of attacking or midfield flair, you've got Lanzini and Yarmolenko. Noble's on the bench, as always, seems to be a standing figure. Randolph in goal, as just in case something happens to Fabianski and he gets injured. Hopefully not, touch wood. And Afolayan keeps his place on the bench. Yes, it was against lesser opposition, but he did score on his debut. He looked good. He seemed to be playing in every position. But for me, I think it's a decent acquisition to be putting on the bench. Put him up from, say, the under-23 squad and utilise him. We have got this academy that's produced some wonderful players over the years. He's going to be one of them. I'm pretty sure of it. And I'm not just saying it because he scored in his debut, but he just looks like a very well-balanced player. He was calm on the ball. He was putting himself in the right positions, and if he can continue to do that, he will score more goals. Difficult game. Crystal Palace are playing reasonably well under Roy Hodgson. They're not pulling up trees, but they're also not losing loads. So this becomes a little bit more of a difficult game. And you could go, oh, well, recent years show this is going to be a draw or a 2-1. I think we've got a bit more about us. We're going to have rested a few players. We have rested a few players. We've got very strong lineup. At bench, maybe you could go, yes, we could have some improvements there as to strengthen. But providing Antonio stays fit, I'm going to go 3-1 to West Ham. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I think, like to Wilfred Zaha, Townsend is are very dangerous. Benteke has scored a couple this year, which is something that maybe means he's going to kick on and score a few more. But for me, 3-1 to West Ham isn't an unlikely scoreline. And with that, let me know what you think the current lineup's going on, the predicted lineup's going to be, and what the scoreline's going to be. See you soon. Peace.